How's it gaming? I'm Phil in the Blanks, and welcome back to the Black Box Files with File 17, Super Mario Bros. The final and definitely best game for the North American NES launch. It is absolutely fantastic. I would say definitely the best just game in general in 1985. What are you doing, computer-controlled Mario? This attract screen always bewildered me as a kid. I think the inputs got desynced or something when they made the game, so it's weird. Anyways, let's just jump in there. What can I say about Super Mario Bros. That hasn't already been said by thousands of people, millions of people? Like, my goodness. It is basically impossible to overstate the importance and impact this game had on the video game industry. If you've been watching and following Black Box Files kind of in order as I've been putting these videos up, you can already tell how much crazier this game already seems compared to what we've been seeing. Because up to this point, we've been playing games from the Japanese Famicom, the 1983, 1984, and early 1985 lineup. But this game kind of changed everything. It was just that much bigger and better. I'm going to try to do a little audio glitch here. Keep the Superstar going. I'm going to get it near the stairs here. Right here. And we'll try to finish the level with it still going. And then it'll wear off kind of in the middle of the victory tune. And it makes the ground theme actually start up when it shouldn't. I love that. One of the many little tricks that I discovered as a little kid playing this game endlessly. Just endlessly. I play this game a lot. This was my first NES game. I received it, and I think it was either 1989, Christmas 1989, or Christmas 1990. I think it was 1989. And we got the bundle pack that came with Super Mario Bros. And Duck Hunt in a combo cartridge. And this was an amazing game. I played it so often. Now, up to this point, everything that we have seen on the Black Box Files is a basic NES cartridge, a basic NES game. And that means the games we've been seeing so far, the first 17 games, have been no bigger than 40 kilobytes, which is, first of all, tiny. It's crazy to think a game can be packed into 40 kilobytes like this. And basically, the NES just wasn't a powerful machine. It really wasn't. It was a nice little machine, we all love it, but it wasn't powerful. And this is probably, for an out-of-the-box NES with a regular cartridge, this is probably the biggest and best game you can get with that limitation of 40K. But you're probably wondering, hey, well, I mean, Mario 2 and Mario 3 exist, and games like Final Fantasy and the Mega Man games and Castlevania and Ninja Gaiden, those all exist, and they are more impressive than this game in terms of what they look like, what they can do, what they can sound like. And that is true, because up to this point, oh, by the way, you need to skip to World 2, 3, or 4, go above the ceiling here, find a warp zone, or go to World -1 by clipping through this wall right here. I've shown you how to do that before. We played this game before, technically on Super Mario All-Stars, so the Super NES version of it. This is actually the first time we've played this game on the NES on this channel, so still technically new. Anyways, basically, when games started to show their age, which basically by the time the NES launched in North America was already happening in Japan, companies started adding extra chips, basically called mapper chips, that would help offload some of the burden of running the game off of the console and onto the chip itself. And there's many different ones. There's the UN ROM, there's the MMC 1 through 5, there's a bunch of them. And they would basically do a few things, but the big important thing is that they'd increase the memory that the game could have. Like I said, this game and every game we've seen on Black Box Files, and every game I'm pretty sure we will see on Black Box Files, is 40 kilobytes. But games like Super Mario Bros. 3, for example, are 256 kilobytes. And the TMNT games, 2 and 3, on the NES are 500 kilobytes. And Kirby's Adventure, the biggest NES game released in North America, was a whopping nearly 800 kilobytes, nearly a megabyte. It is crazy to think, but yes, Kirby's Adventure is 20 times bigger than this game. And it's all because cartridges can have those chips. It's one of the kind of benefits of having a cartridge-based system back then instead of a CD-based system that we would start getting later on, is that you could just improve the system like that without having to buy an extra big ol' thing. Looking at you, Sega 32X. But yeah, it was very, very cool. If this sounds familiar, if you've never heard of this before, but it does sound familiar, you probably understand the idea from the Super Nintendo chips, like the Super FX and Super FX2 chip, where they would do things like increase what Mode 7 could do, and rotational effects, and basically very primitive 3D like Star Fox and Stunt Race FX and Yoshi's Island and stuff like that. That was a bad hit, Phil. Should not got hit from that. That's okay. But yeah, it's very impressive that this is still made without any of those extra mapper chips. It's very, very impressive and very, very cool. And not just because of like how much they fit in here. This is just impressive in the sense of, look at how smooth the screen scrolls. Look at how varied the enemies are. Look at the power-ups. Look at Mario's size. Look at how well he controls and how he moves. It's just impressive. You didn't have stuff like that in video games back then at all. Arcades, sure. Like, sure, you know, that makes sense. Arcades were massive machines with a lot more going for it. But for a home console, this is impressive. I'm gonna do a little dance. I love that. It's very fun. And it's not like this was the very first platforming, like side-scrolling platforming game, but Nintendo has a way of taking an existing genre and making it their own and making it better, and then history just believes that they're the ones who made the genre. Donkey Kong is often credited to be the first platformer with jumping and stuff. It's not. I don't know offhand what it is. Someone will probably correct me in the comments. But Donkey Kong is often credited as the first one. It's not. This is not the first side-scrolling platform game. Pac-Land came up before it. I'm pretty sure in Japan Ghosts and Goblins came up before this. But this is the first one that did so well. There's a real sense of real physicality to the world that those other games just straight up didn't have. The worlds were varied. What you could do was varied. There were secrets everywhere. It felt so vast. And that wasn't something you got. So a lot of people nowadays erroneously credit this as the first side-scrolling platform game. And it's not just these games either. Mario Kart's not the first mascot-style karting game, but it's always credited as the first one. What else? Mario Party is not the first board game-style party game. I mean, hell, Mega Man actually has one that never came out in North America. It was for the Famicom. It's not very good, but Mario Party wasn't the first, but everyone credits Mario Party. Smash Brothers is not the first platform fighter, but it's credited as it. So it's just kind of interesting just how Nintendo is just like, we'll just make it better. And they haven't done it always. I wouldn't say anyone's like, Splatoon is the third person, like, MOBA type game. Because it's not. No one would think it. I always wondered, back when Overwatch had just started getting popular, if Nintendo did a Smash Brothers version of that, a hero shooter, if it would have taken over and been better than Overwatch, and then it would have been credited as, I don't know, Smash Gun, or whatever Nintendo would have called it, would have been credited as the first hero shooter. That's not a timeline that exists, but I always thought about that. I always worry that one day Nintendo's gonna make a League of Legends or Overwatch type game, but like Smash Brothers, and have loot boxes, and I'm gonna go crazy and lose my friggin' wallet. Well, of course I gotta get the new Samus skin. It's the Dread suit from Metroid Dread. It's only $200. Like, I'm just worried that'll be me, because like I'm not one for those types of purchases and those types of games. Man, Nintendo stuff. Don't get that idea, Nintendo. I don't want to buy your dumb DLC like that. Though, for the most part, they don't really deal with, like, costume DLC and stuff. The Fire Emblem games do a little bit, which is very annoying. The Fire Emblem games have awful DLC. Awful, awful, awful DLC practices. Which is not something you see in normal Nintendo games, so. But yeah. This is just that impressive of a game. It is also interesting how, Mario, even though this is like the first, not the first, like this is the big first game in the Super Mario Bros. Series, Mario's colors are incredibly wrong, with the red overalls and the brown shirt. And Luigi, same thing, he has green overalls and a white shirt, which actually matches what his current Fire Luigi outfit is. I love this. Look, just a change of the palette, now it's night. It's a night sky. What a great little thing. Later on, they do another palette swap, and it'll look like it's snow on the ground. So well done. And those are the kind of things you need to do to make the game look big, but also just, you know, save on memory. Like, for example, Goombas are just one frame of animation swapped and mirrored to make it look like they're walking. The clouds and the bushes are actually the same sprite, but different colors. It's just neat. That's how you save on that. Ah, I blew up the eye. I like to always look at this as, this is an eye, that other one was an eye, there's sideburns or not glasses, ears. You got the big old nose here, and the mustache. It looks like Mario's face. That's what I thought when I was a kid. But yeah, this is the, I believe now we're on the second game on Black Box Files that features Luigi as a second playable character, which is very cool. Very cool. Got first look at the Hammer Brothers here, and that's another thing. It's so impressive that even though this is the first game in the Super Mario Brothers series, that almost everything from this has come back. It's stayed. All these enemies, Goombas, Koopa Troopas, Buzzy Beetles, Piranha Plants, Hammer Brothers, Cheep Cheeps, Lakitu, Spinies, Bloopers, like they're still in the games to this day. It's really, really impressive. This game has such staying power. Very, very cool. If you walk to the left here, you'll be carried through the clouds. Very interesting, very fun. Useless in this game, but you can do it. Woo-hoo-hoo! More useful in Lost Levels, the Japanese version of Mario 2. Run, Mario, woo! Oh, I missed one. Let's try to do the infinite life glitch. It's not a glitch, it's a trick, but let's see if I can do it. Nope, I messed up there. Got way too close. There we go. Infinite 1-ups. Now, if you get a certain amount of 1-ups, you'll actually overflow the part of the game's memory. Oh, it just stopped. Good. And it'll go back to 0. I did that as a kid, where I'd get, like, star 8 lives, and then I die a couple times and I get a game over, and I'm like, that's not correct. I don't like that. Oh, I've got Crown N. I have no idea how much this is. It's probably just like 20-something. Not a big deal, nothing big. But yeah. Not much else to say. Well, there's a billion things to say. I mean, this was created by Shigeru Miyamoto, the creator of Mario. He also created Donkey Kong and Zelda and Pikmin and a bunch of other games. The music was by Koji Kondo, who just is legendary, man. Super great. Yeah, no, so I got this game very young. My parents had a Mattel Intellivision when I was born. They already had it when I was born. So I literally do not remember a time in my life where I wasn't gaming. Always gaming. ABG. Always be gaming. And, we grew up with the Mattel Intellivision, like, when I was really young, and I liked it. It's for my younger viewers, that's kind of like an Atari 2600. It's like the Atari's rival. Atari is Sega to Atari's Nintendo. And, we loved it. It was a lot of fun. We had a lot of games for it, too. And then we got the NES. I remember it pretty clearly, I guess. I was still fairly young. But after we had opened up all the presents on Christmas morning, there was an envelope in the tree, I believe. And in it was a note, or maybe it was just a note, from Santa saying, hey, you know, go downstairs or whatever. It was like a little scavenger hunt. I would go downstairs and there'd be like another box or a note, and they'd be like, oh, go upstairs to your room, and there'd be like a note on my pillow. And then when it all wrapped around and got back to the living room, there was the NES in box, and I liked how it was in box. Because everyone knew that I like to hook things up to the TV and do all that stuff myself. I'm still like that. I'll be like, oh, we got the Switch, honey, and she's like, let's see it. And I was like, I want to open it. I want to do the power on for the first time and answer the dumb questions it asks. I'm just dumb that way. But it was such a memorable moment, a great memory. I'm so thankful that Santa went through all that trouble for me. Good, thank you, Santa. Oh, that was close. Not gonna be able to blow up Bowser with a fireball here. I'm just gonna jump over him. Oh, careful. He can reach through that little platform. Just gonna take a quick drink. Thank you, Mario, but our princess is in another castle. Another kind of thing. I know everyone already knows all this stuff, but you're watching, you might as well listen. For my younger viewers, if you didn't know already, which you probably should, but I mean, maybe not. I mean, this game is very old now. It's 40 years old. Princess Peach was not known as Peach back then, at least not in North America. In Japan, she still was. In North America, we called her Princess Toadstool. daughter of King Toadstool, who, while not in any of the games, is referenced in the manual and was shown in the comic books, and there were, of course, comic books back then. Mario ruled the friggin' world back then. It's again, impossible to overstate how impactful this game was. It's like how Pokemon Go was an international thing. That was Mario for a while. But, yeah, she was Princess Toadstool. And she was Princess Toadstool for 11 years in North America. I believe the first time she was referenced as Peach in North America was Yoshi's Safari, which makes sense. It wasn't a game made by Nintendo themselves. It was outsourced. It was a third-party game, just published by Nintendo and licensed by Nintendo. And in the story, they call her Princess Peach, which makes sense for that company, just translating the game from Japanese. I can't understand how you not know that the character's name was Princess Toadstool back then, but they kept the Japanese name of Princess Peach. And it's not like it's stuck. The first really, truly official game that had her as Princess Peach in North America was Super Mario 64. And that's why it was such a big deal. First game in Mario with voice acting, with Princess Peach actually saying her name. The whole, like, you know, please come to the castle and bake a cake for you, yours sincerely, Peach. And that was such a big deal, hearing her voice. I think I missed. There's a 10 coin block around here. I must have missed it. Oh, there it is. Wow, it's a lot closer to the edge than I thought. This is another level with a warp zone. If you want to warp zone, if you want to zone warp, you just go up here. There is a warp zone to 6, 7, and 8. Or you can go on top of the screen, like in World 1 and 2, and there's another warp zone for World 5. Now, this is crazy, because I never really thought about this until recently. Despite how iconic the underground levels are, like this one, for example, there are only 2 of these in the entire game. World 1, 2, and World 4, 2. And it's, I don't know, I just thought there were more. I sat down and I was like, holy crap, is there really only 2 of them? I think it's iconic too because, like, the music you hear all the time thanks to the underground bonus areas and stuff like that. But yeah, just 2 levels. It's so bonkers to me. I love this little... I don't know, this has always stuck out to me. Very cool. Plus, very easy to get back up there if you didn't make it earlier. That was the worst staircase jumping I've ever done in my life. Here we go. Ugh, this game. I was hooked on the NES immediately. Mario is still my favorite Nintendo franchise. The classic Mario games. Like a main Mario game. Not like, oh man, a new Mario Tennis is out. Woo! I mean like the main Mario games. The last one being Mario Odyssey, technically Bowser's Fury. I guess Mario Wonder. I'm thinking 3D only for some reason. But yeah, they are like my favorite video game series. Just amazing. Second and only to like classic Mega Man. Classic, like 1 through basically 7. 6 really, but 7's... I like 7, I don't care what anyone says. Look at this level, this is so neat. The whole Mushroom Kingdom idea with all these mushrooms as actual platforms. Fantastic. But yeah, growing up, back in the day, we didn't really buy a lot of video games. Nowadays you can go to any GameStop or pawn shop and get a pretty good selection of games for cheap. And then you got digital. Like Steam, the amount of games you get on there for dirt cheap is really good. And you have free games, for God's sakes. When we were kids, you got lucky if you got a couple games a year, if that. And we were a family that wasn't like super rich or anything. This is a maze level, by the way. I went the wrong way, so it repeats. Gotta pay attention to where I'm going. Give an example right here. If I go... Oh, there's not right here. Right. Coming up. Oh, never mind, it's not this one. Well, I mean, this is a maze one, but it didn't have the specific setup I was thinking. Whatever. Yeah, we'd only have a couple of games a year because it was just hard to find games for dirt cheap back in the day. I remember growing up, we had Mario 1, we had Mario 2, Mario 3. We were a Mario family. We love Mario. And we had a bunch of sequels. I don't know, I'm just thinking of that, how many of our games were number 2s. We had Adventure Island 2. I absolutely adore that game. We had... Oh darn, my brain's blanking out. We had a game called TNC Surf Designs 2, which was like a weird game made by an actual like skateboarding company. And like a skate shop kind of thing. And the second one was called Thrilla Safari, and Thrilla was a gorilla. Thrilla the gorilla, who had to surf and skate his way across the Amazon to save his girlfriend Barbie Bikini. Great game. I never beat it as a kid. It was very, very difficult. We also had TMNT 2, the arcade game. It was great. And we had 31-1, and that was one of those bootleg compilation cartridges. The 80s and 90s, they didn't really care about that type of stuff as much as nowadays. It was so easy to come across those. But basically, even though I say we didn't have a lot of games, we had a 31-1 cartridge, so we technically had 31 games just in that one cartridge. So I guess we did have a lot of games. But we had a few other games. I can't really remember a whole bunch of them. We actually ended up getting rid of the NES. You can go down here for an underwater bonus level. Don't want to do it. We had we got rid of it for the Super NES, which I understood at the time. It was no fun because I loved the NES, but my parents really thought that I'd just go to the Super NES and not look back. Oh, brother, did I look back. I am such a retro gamer, and I never stopped. As soon as I was able to, I bought myself my own NES, and I remember kind of re-getting those games pretty easily, and I ended up getting Kid Icarus and Mega Man 2 as well when I was younger. We had a small bookstore in our local mall, and it had video games every so often. That's kind of where I guess I started my collection. I screwed that up really badly. I'm not getting all those 10 coins. But yeah, no, I played my Super NES a lot, obviously. We got the Super NES in 92. So we only had the NES as our main console for like 3 years. But that didn't matter. Like, even in like 96 or 7 when the PlayStation was coming out, the Super NES was my main console, but like the NES was always hooked up. I never had one and not the other. Like, it's just, I never put away these NES. Even later on, I got a PlayStation 2. Don't care, the NES and SNES are always hooked up, because they are fantastic, and, you know, I never kind of just gave them up, I guess. This is a recreation of World 1-3. You'll notice there are a few levels that repeat, and that again is a memory saving thing. There are 32 levels in this game, so there are a few repeating ones. The water level, there's only one actual water level, so when we get to 7-2, you'll notice it's very familiar. Ooh, I can't believe we pulled that off. The bridge level with all the Cheep Cheeps, that is also a repeat level. Two of Bowser's Castle are also repeats. Bowser was called King Koopa back then, by the way, not Bowser. Even in the cartoons, he was King Koopa and Princess Toadstool, not Bowser and Peach. So interesting. There's some fireworks. You get that depending on what your singles digit is in the timer. Interesting. Oh, careful. This is a remake of... is this a remake of? Yes, this is a remake of 2-4, I believe. Just has a ton more fire bars. And we'll see that again a couple times, too. I believe either 6-4 or 7-4 is a remake of 1-4. Same thing, just more fire bars and pottabos and that kind of thing. Careful, so much fire. It's funny that the bad guys all have fire as like an ability, right? But so does Mario. They didn't like make it ice. It's like, no, you fight fire with fire. Pretty neat, pretty neat. A lot to get out of the drink. Gotta say, stay hydrated when I'm yapping my freaking head off. Another really cool night stage. Love this. This is actually this stage sticks out to me a lot. I don't know why. It has a really unique layout. There's a lot of like staircases and stuff. It's really cool. World 6 is full of neat stuff. I really like it. Might be a 1-up here. I don't know what sets off the 1-ups. There's like hidden 1-ups in like level 1 of every world, and I don't know what means, like what makes it sometimes appear and sometimes not appear. I have no idea. Don't know why. That's okay. Just a Lakitu chasing level. Bye, Lakitu. Very easy level. Boop. By the way, you can go over the flagpole. You can't really do it very often. There are a couple levels where you can. But there's nothing beyond. The game is like almost procedurally generated at that point. You can keep going and there'll be nothing, and you just have to wait till the timer gives up. You get a time up, and then it kills you and it sends you back. But there is nothing actually to gain from going over. But it is neat. It's very cool that you can do it, even if it wasn't intended. Whoops, well, down I go. Oh no! Ah, water area. Oh, boo. Well, it's good for you to see it, I guess. This is not what I was talking about when I said there's water levels that repeat. This is a unique kind of thing. I mean the actual full-on world. See, that's very small. But it's cool that they pepper the game in with a couple of water levels, because then it won't... Ah, crap. Oh, no. Okay, let's jump... Oh, it's not too bad. They pepper this in so it makes it seem like, you know, there are more water levels than there actually are. Same with the ground levels. Go superstar here. Ah, dang. This is another area where you can get the infinite lives off Koopa Troopa right over here. It's very dangerous to do it right here, though. You can do it. You can pretty much do it anywhere there's like a shelled enemy near kind of a staircase of at least 1 or 2 heights. You do it with Buzzy Beetles, too, which is pretty cool. Speaking of Buzzy Beetles, when you beat the game, you do a quest 2, similar to Legend of Zelda, but the only real difference is that every Goomba is now a Buzzy Beetle, and enemies go faster, and all the platforms are slightly smaller. This is a neat level, 6-3. I don't know why it's all grayscale, but I always thought that was cool, even when I was a kid. I had quite the imagination as a kid. I always felt the narrative reason was that World 6, being all dark and like sky and whatnot, was like a no man's land. Like, there weren't inhabitants. Because, like, World 6-1 is all dark and scary, and the only thing there are Lakitus. And World 2 is pretty much just a bunch of piranha plants. And then you have this, it's like a desolate wasteland where no life can survive. And then, you know, that was just, I don't know, I really thought that. It just looked very cool. Imagine having that kind of imagination about 8-bit games nowadays. Everything's super explained to you. But back then it was just gray. But why? And the answer was because the developers wanted to. Here is World... Careful. This is World 1-4 again. With more fire bars. Careful. But yep. No, this is easily the best game for the NES's launch. It is... stunning. And I guess the question of the day is... That's the question of the day. The question of the day is, now that we've seen all 17 games that launched on the NES, if you had to pick 3, let's pretend there weren't any pack-in bundles or anything like that, you had to pick 3 NES games from just those 17 games, what would you pick? What would be your 3? I think mine would be, obviously, Super Mario Brothers. Probably Kung Fu. Maybe golf? I'm not a big sports guy, but I like golf for the NES. It's a lot of fun, and you can master it, you know what I mean? There's a lot of replayability there for me. So, there are a lot of, like, 17 games, man, let's count them. I'm gonna rest for a second. So we got, let's see. Tennis, baseball, pinball, Wild Gunman, Hogan's Alley, Duck Hunt, Clu Clu Land, Kung Fu, Super Mario Brothers, Don't Come Near Me, Koopa Troopa. That's 9 right there. Wrecking Crew, that's 10. Jeez, there's 7 more. There's so many. 10-yard fight. There's a lot of them. A lot of them. But yeah, there's so many good ones. This is a fun little thing about how dumb I was as a kid. By the way, if you stand next to a Bill Blaster, he will not shoot you in the face despite having a perfect shot. I always thought, and I knew this wasn't right, I wasn't stupid, I knew this was just my eyes being weird. The little circle in the middle where it's like a little pivot point so the cannon can move, even though it does not move in this game, you're gonna kill me. I thought it looked like an eye staring at the player, and I thought the little skull underneath looked like a pig's snout. I don't know, I always thought that. Just one of those things. I think every person has something like that, where as a kid they thought it looked like something, and it wasn't until like a higher definition version of the game or something where you just realized, oh, that's what that's supposed to be. It's the same with the peace symbol on the flag at the end of each level. It's supposed to be a peace symbol. When I was a kid, I thought it looked like a little beetle. And I'll try to remember that when we get to the end of this level. Nice. Good coin collecting. Oh, it goes right through it. Careful. Oh, more. I'm just gonna skip these Hammer Bros. Ah! Can I get you? Can I get you? Yes, I can. I think we could also do the one-up trick right here with this Buzzy Beetle right here. Let's try it out. Yeah! Look at that. And you can't kill it by mistake either, because it's a Buzzy Beetle. Yes! So many lives. Alright, I'll let you go, Buzzy Beetle. Thank you. You're trapped there forever. Anyways, here's the... Look, see? It looks like a little beetle. Little beetle head and like the carapace that kind of opens up into the wings. That's what I thought that looked like when I was a kid. I did not understand it. Wow, we got crown blank lives. Here we go into World 2-2 again. 7-2 is just another World 2-2. I think it's just more aggressive bloopers or something. Maybe some more cheaps. I have no idea. But with a Fire Flower, it's pretty much just as easy. Maybe the, where, yeah, I think where the enemy placement is, that's why it's more difficult. Ooh, did I get them both in one shot? I didn't know that was possible. But yeah, there's a lot of little secrets in this game, though. Like, for example, did you know that if you hit Bowser and the axe at the end of a world at the exact same time, you'll shrink in size graphically, but the game will still think you're super. So when you when you grab a fire flower later on, you will be small Fire Mario. So you'll be still small Mario, but the palette will be switched around so that he's white and red, like a Fire Mario. And because there's no sprite of little Mario throwing fireballs, when you throw a fireball, for those couple frames, he will turn into Big Mario, just shoot the fireball, and then go back down. It's super weird. It's not one of those things that I can just recreate. It's very, very, very finicky, and I think I've only done it once. I think I did it as a kid, I was like, what is happening here? And it wasn't until later that I saw that, not Nintendo Power, but Nintendo Power before Nintendo Power, with the Nintendo Fun Club actually does mention it. And I'm pretty sure, like, back in the day, I'm trying to think of what the video game magazines were back in the day. EGM, I guess, Electronic Game Magazine, Game Pro. They mentioned it too, but I don't think Nintendo Power itself did, so I was just confused for like a year. So, wow, we're ripping through this game. For its time, this was incredible. All this stuff. It could take a kid weeks to beat this game. But now it's still very big for a launch title. But it's very easy to just kind of rip through if you've played it a bajillion times. I'm thinking this might be the game I've played the most. I'm not sure, actually, because I guess I've speedrun games before. And when you speedrun a game, you play that game hundreds of times. So I think, actually, Mega Man and Dr. Wily's Revenge for the Game Boy might be my most played game. Ooh, some slowdown there. Boy, howdy. Boop. I always thought it was funny that when you kill Bowser with fireballs, that he turns into another enemy. I was like, why? I'm assuming it's like the minion is dressing up as Bowser to fool you. I don't know. So, funnily enough, this is the third time I've recorded this today. The first time I did it early morning, I wasn't happy with it. I really played poorly, I was stuttering a lot, I really just had not a good time. So I tried it again after lunch, and I did so much better, only to realize that I accidentally was not recording the audio of the game. So you had me talking and just a silent Super Mario Brothers, and I felt so stupid. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. So this time, I really double-checked everything. I'll be so disappointed. I mean, it's not like you'll ever know if this doesn't go up, but I'll be sad. Come here, Superstar. Nice little area here. You don't get lives for killing enemies with the Superstar. That wasn't a thing yet. It wouldn't happen until Super Mario World, but I love that. One of the hardest jumps coming up in the game. Not this one. Next one, right here. Single tile. Very easy once you've done it a million times, though. The harder jump is in the next level. World 8-2, I think, is agreed upon to be the hardest level in this game. It's rather difficult. Now, the good part is, though, there is a one-up mushroom at the very, very beginning, which really does help. So we'll get that. I mean, we're doing amazing for lives. I don't even... have I died yet? I've died maybe once. So I'm playing this way better than I did this morning. So, yay for me. I almost got hit by you, lucky too. Right here. Boink. You can chase it like this if you really want to, but I think it's funner to actually go on the bottom. I kind of wish I did now. But if you die, you just get that over and over again. Here is a barrage of bullet bills. Stay at the top if you can. Easy enough. And here comes the hardest jump in the game. Ooh, that was close. Right here, we gotta keep your momentum. There we go. You're with a Mario Master. Uh-oh. I've acknowledged my skill. That means the universe will kill me now. Because that's the way it works. Ooh, that was really, really close. Can I get another one-up right here? Oh, you can right here, but there are bullet bills that might come on the side if you don't kind of lure the blasters off the screen, so you gotta be careful. 2 levels left. We're doing great. This next level's really, really neat. I actually think it looks better, kind of, in this version than in the Mario All-Stars version. In this version, it's like you're approaching the castle with these walls. Look at that. And they're made of the same brick texture, whatever, graphics that the actual bricks look like. So it looks really neat. In All-Stars, they made it look a little bit more realistic. It was a 16-bit version of the game, but I don't think it meshes as well. I think it looks good like that, but whatever. This is the last 2 power-ups in the game right here, and there's another one in a few seconds. If you want to go into the last world with Fire Flower, this is how you have to do it. if you die or whatever. So kill these guys off, and right here, last Fire Flower in the game. We want to try to bring the Fire Flower because one, there's Hammer Brothers, which are dangerous, obviously. Ah, jeez. And then right here, there's a little hidden 10-coin block, which is super obvious in the All-Star version. Yeah, there are plenty of ways to play this game, too. If you haven't played this game, by the way, I really suggest you do. There are a million trillion ways to play it. Like, there's the NES version, and then in Japan they had the Versus Super Mario Bros. Version, which is like the arcadey kind of one. There's All Night Nippon, which is like a weird licensed crossover with a radio show that came out for the Famicom Disk System, I believe. There was Super Mario All-Stars on the Super Nintendo. There was the Game Boy Color Super Mario Deluxe, which is like the precursor to the Mario Advance games, which I love. That's my personal favorite version of the game. It has achievements, it has a unique mode called You vs. Boo. It has 5 red coins and a secret Yoshi egg in every level, meaning Yoshi is canon in Mario 1. There was the Game Boy Advance Nintendo Classics version of the game. There's a playable version of the game in Animal Crossing for the GameCube, and then there's the Virtual Consoles and Nintendo Switch Online. There's so many ways to play this game, And here we go. Underwater in the castle. This is the only area you'll see these graphics, which is kind of interesting. And I always felt like, what are we doing? Are we like in Bowser's like sewage, his plumbing? And I'm just like, oh, it's like an espionage kind of thing. He's going through the back door, and he knows Mario's coming. Bowser knows Mario's coming, so Mario's like, I'm going to sneak through his pipes because I'm a plumber, and it just gets the jump on Bowser. And here is if you're not Fire Mario, this is the scariest Hammer Brother in the entire game. He's dead now, though. Alright, let's take out Bowser with our fireballs. No more hiding behind minions. This is the true Bowser. Like that, exactly. And we have saved Princess Toadstool. She's so short. She's so adorable. She's a redhead. Actually, in the artwork, she's still a blonde, but in the game's graphics, they use those colors. Thank you, Mario. Your quest is over. We present you a new quest. Wait, is my quest over or not? Press button B to select a world. That's true. You can now select, by pressing B, up there, world 2, 3, 4, 5, you can just select any world you want, which is pretty cool. And now, like I said, all the Goombas are Buzzy Beetles, and they go a lot faster. Very, very cool. Anyways, that was Super Mario Brothers. Thank you so much for joining me. This was a joy to play. I love this game. I think everyone loves this game. I haven't met a person that thinks this game is bad. Maybe overrated to some people. I don't agree with that. But bad? No, not bad. But yeah, from the main game of the NES launch to the main game of the Famicom launch, join me next time for File 18, Donkey Kong. Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this episode, click that subscribe button and hit the bell icon to know when the next episode is up. If you want to support my channel, share some videos with some friends and consider supporting me on Patreon.